Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new season for the University of West Georgia. For the first time in school history, we will have an official indoor track and field season here. Matt Cooke here with head coach Ryan Bailey and Coach Bailey and the indoor track team, which is essentially the same as the track team, but just with different sports. We are going to talk through the first meet that we've got coming up on Saturday, the BSC Invitational. Is that correct?
Yep.
And talk through just what to expect with indoor track and field, and then maybe even talk a little bit about what we have coming in the spring. So welcome. We're excited to have this new sport, and talk a little bit about what we can expect for this weekend, or what can we expect with indoor track and field with West Georgia.
Well, indoor track is a little bit different. It's essentially the same. We're still running around the track, but the typical indoor track is about half the size of an outdoor track, about 200 meters, sometimes a little less, and there are some facilities that are quite a bit larger. ETSU has a 300-meter indoor track, and it's banked, so that's a pretty significant difference. They also can't you can't set a record on that track for indoor because the turns are too wide. But that's one of the main differences is you basically have to double the number of laps for every event. Some of the events are slightly different. For example, the women don't run 100-meter hurdles, they run 60-meter hurdles. We don't run the 100-meter dash, they run the 60-meter. There, of course, is no 3,000-meter steeplechase, but there is what we call a flat 3,000-meter. And one of the exciting things about indoor is it includes a distance medley relay, which is not included in outdoor. And that's really great because it gives a lot more kids an opportunity to compete as part of that relay team. So that consists, not in this order, but it consists of a 400-meter, an 800-meter, a 1,200-meter, and a 1,600-meter. Now, they don't do it in that order because it would be kind of a mess at the exchange. So they start with 1,200 meters and then down to the 400 meters and back up. So, but this will be the first time that the majority of our kids have ever stepped foot on an indoor track. So that'll be pretty interesting. This is really more of a test case for us. It's very, very early meet. Of course, for the distance runners coming off of cross country, they are just off of cross country. So we backed off a little bit, and then we sort of transitioned into training for the shorter events, but we're still pretty raw. So we're just going to go out there and have a little bit of fun, test the wheels out a little bit, and see what happens.
Now, how many individuals do we have participating in events at this particular meet?
We have about 25 people.
25.
Mm-hmm.
What do you expect to be able to score? We scored pretty well in the spring.
Yes.
With track and field. So talk a little bit about who do you think is going to be a standout for us, or has the potential for that?
Okay. Well, this is typically a pretty large meet. It's well attended, but I do think that we'll be scoring. I think the people to watch primarily, we need to take a close look at Nadia Davila in the hurdles and in the high jump, but particularly the hurdles. And her workouts have been going extremely well. On the shorter sprint side, we have a couple of freshmen that are looking really good. So we have Bree St. Julian that very well could score for us. We have Patience Collier, who she's not going to do her primary events. We're sort of prepping her for the pentathlon and the 800. She's quite a good 800-meter runner, but she's somebody to watch. On the distance side, Devin Helms, she had a great fall season, and that is translating on through to this season already. Had a great workout yesterday with her. And then the throwers are looking very good. We have a very strong heavy throws crew, and in indoor, obviously you can't throw discus or javelin or hammer. There's just not the space for it, and somebody would die. But that we do throw the 20-pound weight toss, and we throw the standard shot put. And we have 3 or 4 girls all who have the potential at the end of the season to be on the podium, potentially at the top of the podium in these throws. Naya Moses returns. She comes back to us after a year's hiatus. And of course, she has thrown weight in the past. She's thrown 16 meters, which is that's quite a good toss. And then we have Brandy Bodie, she's the one to watch in shot put. And she actually has been throwing extremely well in the hammers. I mean, sorry, in the weight toss as well. But I'm looking for maybe as much as a 14 meter throw for her in shot put, which once again that's a very healthy toss. So those are just a few of the people.
And Naya was all conference 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. So you got a returning all conference performer. Any other returning all conference performers in this year?
Brandy Bodie, Nadia Davila. Well, let's see. Yeah, Nadia, and let's see. I failed to mention the pole vault. So we have America Valdez and Sydney Ross, who are both returning. And we have added an additional pole vaulter. She's still a little bit raw, but Kailani Serapian is sort of an all-around. She's just a sporto. I pulled her in to run cross country for me as sort of an extra runner, just to give us some insurance on the women's side. And she is a budding javelin thrower. She's an accomplished discus thrower. She is returning to the pole vault. She did some pole vaulting in high school, not real extensive, but she did do some, and so she's also pole vaulting. And I've got her on the DMR to fill in on the B team DMR for the 800. So she's, like I said, she's a sporto. She does a little bit of everything, and she's fearless. So that's always good.
Well, it seems like you got a lot of options coming up for this weekend. We're excited about the entry of indoor track and field to our roster of sports here at West Georgia, and looking forward for some good results throughout the next 4, 5, 6 months or so.
I hope we can give them to you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, Coach Bailey and the team will be performing at the BSC Invitational in Birmingham this weekend. They'll be competing there, and you can follow live stats. There'll be links at uwgsports.com. The live scoring will be going on throughout the Invitational, and Birmingham Southern will be providing all of that. Follow us on at UWG Athletics on Twitter, West Georgia Wolves on Facebook, and keep up with all the information as we move forward with indoor track and field. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.